In today's video, I'm going to walk you step by step how to completely automate your new hire process within your business. As a quick overview of what we're going to go over in today's video is we're going to automatically create the new hires email. We're going to automatically send them a welcome email personalized for them. We're going to automatically schedule an onboarding call, automatically assign training materials for the new hire, notify people within our team about the new hire, and finally send them a feedback form within a week of their new employment. Now, everything I just described there, I'm going to walk you step by step on how to do it. This video could be 10 minutes long. It could be 40 minutes long. However long it's going to be, you're going to learn a ton of new stuff when it comes to automation, artificial intelligence, and saving your time in your business. So let's jump into today's video. Welcome back, y'all. In today's video, I'm going to share everything that we do together in today's video in the description down below. My voice is a little raspy, got a little bit of a cough, but we're going to learn everything we need to know when it comes to automating a new hire workflow. That rhymed on accident. Keep in mind is that if this is not exactly what you want to do for the onboarding process for your business, you're still going to learn a ton of stuff when it comes to automation, artificial intelligence, and how to implement it within your business. Therefore, before we dive any further here and walk through every single one of these automations together, let's go and understand what software is going to be needed in order to achieve this flow. First major software that's going to be needed is going to be some type of automation software. So I personally use Zapier. You can use other automation softwares like Make or Pipedream, depending on your context. But today's tutorial is going to be all surrounded by Zapier automations. You can replace them with other platforms if you are using other platforms to automate your business. The second software you're going to need access to is going to be OpenAI or alternative AI providers. This could be Gemini's API. This could be Anthropic's API. This is going to allow us to put artificial intelligence within our automation flows, which is then going to allow us to do human-like tasks, basically making our lives easier and involving little to no human involvement so you can sleep and this will work. Finally, the automation I'm going to show today is going to be around Google's ecosystem. You can still apply and use what you learned to date in Microsoft's ecosystem, as currently we integrate within Google and Microsoft. So if I'm using Gmail, go ahead and replace the block with Outlook and kind of proceed in that manner. Okay, that's enough talking. Let's go and actually start doing this, building the automations together, everything above the board there. One last thing I want to point out is you might be asking yourself, Corbin, how do you get such a specific workflow when it comes to a new hire? And that has to do with the fact that with one of my marketplaces I currently run, which is called Web Cafe Software, Pre-Built Solutions, AI Training, I have an option here that allows you to request custom automations. Simply clicking this is going to give you the ability to request a certain automation solution, and you can find yourself basically having the entire automated solution built on a video like this. So I'll make sure to leave the link to this in the description down below. So if you have a very specific automation you want built live like this, and I also might live stream as well, you can go ahead and click this. Let's go ahead and jump in here. This is going to be around 2,000 to 3,000 USD worth of value if you had to pay an automation engineer, but I'm going to give it to you for free. And let's begin with step one here. Step one that was outlined by the request I got in the form was create an email account using Google Workspace Admin automatically creates a new company email account for a new hire. Let's do it. Because of the fact that this is going to be a very lengthy video and I'm going to have a lot of automations, I'm actually going to create a whole new folder within my public Zaps folder that's going to be dedicated toward this so I can share everything that I do in today's video for completely free in the description down below. So I'm going to go to open YouTube Zaps here. With YouTube Zaps, I'm going to add a new folder here that's going to be completely dedicated to the onboarding process. You can do this within your Zapier dashboard. And on top of that, if you're like, Corbin, what is all this? What do you mean public Zaps? This is like what I've been doing for the last year and a half. I'm going to leave a playlist at the end here that goes over all these automations. I think it's over 90 videos long now. This is going to be one of the big ones. Let's create a new folder here for new hires. What? I'm going to shrink myself down and let's proceed. New folder, new hire workflow. Enter. Now we can go ahead and organize all the relevant Zaps for this specific task within our business so that if there ever is an issue or you want to come back to this entire flow, it becomes a lot easier than having one meta folder that has like everything that does with your business. Now, with the Google form request I received on this submission, it never identified what the initial trigger would be when it comes to creating that new employee. So we're going to do this. We're going to create interfaces together. Think of interfaces like landing pages, but built within Zapier's ecosystem. We're going to go ahead and put in the relevant information that we care about for that underlying new hire. And then everything else is going to be handled by Zapier and AI to the endpoint. So let's hit create. We're simply going to do a form here. Now they have a bunch of different options here, but we're going to go ahead and start from scratch. Building your interfaces. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do form. It's going to prompt us to connect it with a table, which will be relevant, but for now we're going to say, I'll do this later. On top of that, let's just go ahead and add a title real quick. So we're going to text here, if I can drag. Okay. With that, we can go ahead and add relevant information here for us. We're just going to simply put this. new hire, and then we'll give ourselves a company name. What's a good company name, y'all? We'll go ahead and say OTech Solutions. Now, text like that is obviously purely for internal use. If we're going to go ahead and use this form, we want to put in relevant information for this employee. So the first thing is that we actually don't want an email selection here because we're actually going to create the email using this form. So let's go ahead and add some more elements here that we would want. I might add a field here. With this field, I'm going to simply put relevant information that I care about. So we're going to say first name, and we'll say insert field. Because of the fact that a lot of this flow is going to depend on each other, we're going to make sure that all these forms is like required, so that nothing can't be unfilled. So I'm gonna hit required here. The next field we're gonna add is going to be a last name. Surprising, right? Also, as a side note, if you were the one to request this and you found this video, you are happy right now. You are very happy right now. And I feel bad if you already paid for an engineer for this, but if you didn't, then welcome to free value. With this email, we're gonna go ahead and remove this field. And now that we have that, let's add a little bit more information that possibly we could care about. With interfaces, we have a bunch of different options here, but let's add relevant information that we'd actually care about for a new hire. So I'm gonna do a date picker here so we can say when hired, and we can reference this date later on in our flows. I'm gonna go ahead and say insert field and require it. Furthermore, let's go ahead and add a drop down here. And this drop down is gonna be position. And what we'll do, just for this very simple context here, is we're gonna say like what department they got hired for. So for example, let's put marketing, operations, development. You can niche down a little bit more depending on how you structure your business. So maybe social media, maybe you have accounting, basically your discretion. This is all internal use. However you structure your company, whether it's gonna be very general or very specific, we're gonna use this field so we can reference it later on. We're gonna say insert field. Now for this last field here, we're gonna go ahead and choose long text. We're gonna just say notes. These are notes that may have came from the interviews you had on Google Meets or Zoom or whatever it may be. Now, what's super cool here is that we could get a little bit more advanced here in theory and have it automatically take the transcript found within those calls and upload that information for this section. But for this video, we're just going to simply put notes and then just type it in ourselves. Okay, so this is pretty sufficient here. We have all the relevant data that you may possibly care about for a new hire. We're going to go ahead and simply check it out by hitting the link here. By clicking that link, we have now created a form that we can fill out or have someone else fill out in our business when it comes to a new hire that will trigger everything else found within today's video. Knowing this, let's go ahead and understand a little bit more about how to share this form. Now, there's a bunch of other things you can do when it comes to interfaces and its features. So you can check out that video right there if you're more in depth of the potential of interfaces. For now, let's go ahead and just rename this form a little bit. We'll say OTech, new hire, and maybe the metadata will just say new hire. And then for the link itself, we'll put, wait for it, new hire, save changes. Now with this, we have our relevant link here. So this link, which I'll paste right here, you can share within your team internally and use this link as the offshoot for everything else that's going to incur in the flows today. Perfect. Let's go ahead and attach this to a table. I want you to think of tables as a Google Sheet or Excel that's more interactive and we're going to be able to leverage better. So we say create OTech new hire. Alternatively, you could use Google Sheets or Excel, but in today's video, I'm just going to go ahead and keep it within Zapier's ecosystem and create a new table. I'm going to hit view table. Now with this new table, this is going to store all the relevant information that we receive when a form is submitted from the columns above. Let's go and submit some pseudo data here that we can start playing around with. All right, we're at our form here and we just had a great interview, an amazing interview, an absolute rock star. We're about to hire here. Let's go ahead and fill the information and start with the name. And this rock star's name is James. And James' last name is Apples, or actually Smith. The position that we hired James for is going to be social media. And the notes are just whatever we thought were cool or what was great or what we need to understand about James. So with our notes here, we can actually expand this to make it easier. Pretty good UI. We can say, understands how to use TikTok well, has 4 years of experience in social media marketing, is able to work full-time 5 days a week, non-remote. Y'all remember the remote days? Or I guess they're still going on. And we can add anything else we want here. So maybe we'll add, did a past campaign for Otark dog food. I know my names are really bad, y'all. That is not how you spell campaign. Was able to get an ROI of 50%. Whatever you want to add here, we can add. You can add a lot of information here as I'm going to show you how to basically analyze, contextualize, and use this information within the flow later on. Even if it's a lot, we can still do it using the power of AI. And then finally, let's just put when it was hired or when they were hired. I'm gonna click this and let's just say they were hired the 27th of May, or that's when we plan on start doing the work. Once we have all this information, hit submit. Boom. Once we have it submitted, we're gonna get all the relevant information for James in the table we created earlier. And now the fun begins. Let's create our first automation. Currently, I already have a lot of Google's ecosystem integrated into my Zapier account, but let me show you how to actually integrate it if you need to do so. Simply go to the tab that says apps. Once you click it, search the app that you need to integrate. So a great way is if you're in Microsoft, you type Microsoft. If you're looking for Google, you just type in Google, and then you'll get a bunch of different options of everything that we currently integrate when it comes to Google's ecosystem. Now, one that's actually pretty important for us right now is creating that new email for our workspace. So I'm gonna do Google Workspace, and I'm not gonna spell it correctly, but that's fine. We're gonna hit connect. Once you hit connect, you're gonna go ahead and choose one of your emails here. I'm gonna choose one of my corporate emails, and I'm gonna hit continue here. Now we have to give access to Zapier for all the relevant information here in order for it to work within your system. I'm gonna select all and hit continue. Perfect. We have a successfully integrated Google Workspace. If you wanna see what it can do, you can simply click this, scroll down, and you can see all the relevant triggers and actions it can do for you within your business. Trigger is like what's starting the flow, and action is what's incurring within the flow itself. So in the first one we're going to do here is going to be creating a new user. We're in our folder. We're good to go. Let's create the Zap. Create new Zap. Once we are here, let the fun begin. We shall call this one new hire. Or actually, let's get a more specific name here. Create email account. Okay. This actually was good enough. We'll say new hire. Email created. As I said before, all of these Zapier automations, if I can share them within the platform, will be found in the description down below. We're going to go to hit trigger here. Our trigger is going to be interfaces submission. So we're going to go ahead and hit Zapier interfaces here. We're going to do the event of form submission created. Now, alternatively, if you use Google Forms or Typeform, you would use that as the trigger for this flow. We're going to simply put form submission created. Hit continue here. And then we're going to choose our relevant interfaces. So for us, it's just called new interfaces. I probably should have renamed that. We're going to choose our page. This is going to be the OTech new hire page. Then we're going to choose our form, which looks a little crazy, but we know that's our form because we didn't create any other forms. So we're going to continue here. We're going to test this trigger. Once we get a submission like this, we'll get all the relevant information or data we input into the form found here. We're good to go. Okay, so someone internally fills out this information. Now we need to create that Google Workspace email automatically. To do so, we're going to hit action. We're going to do Google Workspace Premium. Choose an event. We're going to say create user. We're going to hit continue, continue. And here is the best part, y'all. So we have data that we've already gotten, we've already received. So this is going to make this a lot easier than you would expect. First off, let's put the first name. How do we find the first name? We're going to simply go to the submission for first name. So we're going to hit James. For the last name, we'll come down here and we'll scroll down to Smith. We are then going to create their email together. Now, you may have a more fixed text-oriented email, e.g., we'd put, let me put James here real quick. We'd put James new, or that's actually not a good email at all, James Tech or something. For this video, though, we're going to simply create their email with their first and last name, as that probably makes the most sense in the context of a business. So that's my last name. So we're going to do James Smith as the email handle. As notated by Zapier, we're going to make sure we use the domain associated for Google Workspace account. For this one, it's webcafeai.com. For anyone wondering, this is what webcafeai.com is. An AI SaaS investor. We're going to jump back over to our automation flow. We'll go ahead and put in at webcafe.com. Say at, and then let's delete this. And here we go. Now we're going to set up a password here. Let's make it a very difficult password. Very difficult. 1, 2, 3. Funny enough, I think a lot of people actually use passwords like that. Like there was a study conducted that showed like the amount of people that will like put in a password that's like literally password 1, 2, 3 is like pretty astonishing. So if you're ever guessing a password for Wi-Fi and you're just randomly in a random location and it says free Wi-Fi or just says Wi-Fi network, try password 1, 2, 3. Change password at next login. We're going to go and set this to true as we want to make sure that James Smith doesn't have the password of 1, 2, 3. Now you have the ability to actually associate the user with the organizational unit, a secondary email, and all this is relevant information. So if this information is pertinent or alternatively was filled out in your form, this is where you'll put it. So for example, let's just say job title, we'll put in the little choice that we had earlier there, which was social media. Furthermore, type of employee, manager's email, department, like everything that you would need to create a new email automatically with the information you received, you can do here. For now though, this should be sufficient of everything we need. I'm gonna hit continue. Now let's watch the magic of automation. We're gonna hit test step. Oh, I messed up, y'all. And where I messed up is pretty obvious. Is I left the www.webcafe.com or webcafe AI. So that's actually the correct way to do it for obvious reasons. We're gonna continue again and test this step again. So now the email looks good. Test step. And there we go. We've officially automatically created a user within our Google Workspace within seconds. In order to prove that to you, you can see it right here. James Smith was automatically created and was added recently with no sign in, but they were created automatically. Your other question might be is, Corbin, what the heck is Corbin at Wanderlust? Random sidetrack, but if you love traveling, you like hiking, I have a second channel. You can check it out in the description down below called Corbin Wander. See some cool stuff. That completes step one of this workflow. So let's go and slash this. I'm going to take a little marker here. Bye-bye. Also, if you couldn't tell, I'm an amazing artist. I plan on selling each one of these as an NFT project. Check out the NFT project. No, I'm just joking. But for the second one, we got to send a welcome email. But what is super cool is that some of these requests we can actually do within the same automation. So what was specifically requested in this context was sending a template. Easy enough. Also, we can add a little bit of personalization to the email. Easy enough. And on top of that, provide some initial instructions for the underlying new hire. So let's go and do that. I'm going to go ahead and exit here. And what's great is we can actually do this within the same automation flow. It makes our lives easier. In theory, we could set up a different flow for this, but let's make our lives easier. We're going to add another block here. And the next block I'm going to add here is instead of just straight going to the email, I'm going to give you a little bit of a tip here. Corbin tip, Corbin tip, Corbin tips for automation. And it's going to be a delay block. And this is completely free to use. This doesn't cost any money. This is kind of just like, this is like basically code for them. And they just made it simple for us to use. But what a delay block will do for us is basically add a delay. So if you ever wanted to submit this maybe right after a call or right after a meeting, and you're like, you know what, when I submit this relevant information and create this new user within my workspace, I don't want to send out that email right away. That's a welcome email. We can go ahead and add some delay here. So we're going to do delay for. We're going to choose a delayed for unit. This could be minutes, hours, days, weeks. So for us though, we'll just do a minute. And, you know, you could do 5. We'll just do 1. This is purely just to show you can use this tool. And that's it. Once we submit the data in that interfaces or any form, we create the user and we add a little bit of like a 1-minute delay before sends the welcome email. This will be relevant to us as we keep working on this automation together because of the fact of the other steps that are requested. Another really cool tool here, if you want to help your team or people within your company or yourself when you come back after a couple weeks, is you can rename these steps. So I can just say, 1-minute delay, enter, rename this to new email for hire. Anything that is going to make you remember when you come back to this, like, what was this step again? Make it simple. Let's go and create that welcome email though. We're going to simply go to Gmail. For your reference, in order to use Gmail automatically and within Zapier's API, you need to have a workspace account. But if you've basically made it to this far, you already have one, so we're good. I'm just saying that because a lot of time free users ask me in the comments, like, why didn't it work with my Gmail? It's because you need a workspace account. So I'm going to Gmail here. We're going to do an event of send email. With this event of send email here, we're going to hit continue. We're going to choose our account. So for me, I'm going to choose the account within my ecosystem or my workspace, which is going to be contact@webcafeai.com. And then we're going to send it to a very specific individual. Who is this individual, Corbin? The one we just created. So to do so, it's actually pretty simple. All we need to do is come down to this data point, which will be the primary email that we just created. Perfect. And on top of that, we can add a bunch of information here. So here's what's super cool about email is we can add attachments. We can add our signature. We can add a body, a subject, a from name, BCC, CC, like everything you'd want to do in an email, we can do automatically. So let's go and create one together. If you're interested on how to automate customer service when it comes to your email, or alternatively just answer emails automatically, check out that video right there. I'll walk you through a very specific type of automation that is a path automation. Depending on the context of how you receive the email, we have a different response. For this one, we're just going to say new hire. Welcome aboard. We'll add their name, James space Smith, to the, I think it's OTEC family. We got our email, title, or subject. Now let's add the body. Now for this body, I'm going to make my life easy. And I'm going to actually just start proctoring a ChatGPT chat that's going to help me fill out relevant information for the rest of this video. I'm going to do that together right now so you can maybe understand how to prompt a little bit with ChatGPT. This could be like a bonus as well. Let's go and do that. Okay, coming over to ChatGPT, I'm going to paste in the directions we saw earlier, which was like the 6 steps. I'm going to say, okay, Now that you know what we are doing, are you ready to help me create copy? Hit enter. Absolutely. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and pause that real quick. And I'm just going to go ahead and say, give me the first email that does, and I'm going to do semicolon here. And let's come up here. We're going to say send once email. Make sure the initial instructions are number list and follow the current flow. Also, make sure to do a max of, well, let's say 5 sentences. I don't like it when ChatGPT just goes off and rambles like crazy. So we're going to do this. Here we go. So that's pretty good. That's what we're actually doing in today's video. So let's go and copy this. We'll actually, alternatively, we'll hit copy. Coming over here, let's fill in the variables. So obviously, this is going to be very specific to whatever your company does. But for this, we're going to simply just mess around with this. We're going to say hi, and we'll go ahead and put in the very specific variable that we had earlier. But James, there we go. So now we personalized it. Hi, James. Welcome to company name. We're going to say OTech Solutions. OTech Solutions. Coming down here, we're going to go ahead and put in our department. You'll be part of the, and then we already have that variable data. So now you're understanding that initial interfaces, right? Or the initial form. Anything that's relevant that you would want to use contextually throughout the automations I'm going to show you today, you want to add to it. Because that's going to allow us to really make this stuff personalized. Now, that's not showing up there. It's going to be in form submissions. Come over here, we'll say social media, and we'll add department. Working closely with team leaders' names. So maybe we could have added a drop-down list there in that submission form of the team leader's name that we have. Like maybe we have 5 different team leaders. So we'll say the team leader is someone that I know. I don't know if you know them. The name is Corbin. And the rest of the team, here are your initial instructions. So we have check your new company email. Perfect. For this, we can go ahead and just provide the email that we provided them with. So we'll go ahead and provide them with the email. Setting up your update your profile information, upload a profile pic if you choose to do so. So maybe that's part of it. Accessing training material. A Google Drive folder of all the necessary training material will be shared with you, the company email. We can do this, and we'll do this. Attending onboarding session. Your onboarding session will have been scheduled and can be found in your Google Calendar. We'll do this. And introducing yourself. Feel free to post a short introduction in the relevant Google chat room. We'll go ahead and keep that here, as they're going to get access to all of this within the same flow here, I think. And the reason I say I think is because I'm doing this all live. We may need to do another automation, but we could possibly knock this out with one automation. If you have any questions, please reach out. Okay. Corbin Brown, OTech Solutions. There we go. Now, we can add our signature, which we can go ahead and do so. I'm going to add my signature here. We can add a label that is specific for us, and we can actually add the attachment here. Now, here's what's cool about the attachment. In theory, I could just attach an onboarding PDF. I could attach whatever. For now, I'm not going to attach anything. You watch my other videos on this channel, you'll understand how to really leverage the attachments feature. But this is pretty sufficient, y'all. Let's go ahead and send this email and see what it looks like. Test step. The email has been sent. I'm going to log in as our test email. Hit next, and here we go. So I understand this is like what happens when you create a new email. We're going to go ahead and create a new password, or they'll be prompted to create a new password, as password 123 is probably not too strong. I'm going to say change password. And boom, once they're in, we'll zoom in a little bit. They'll receive that welcome aboard email after 1 minute. Click it. And obviously, I could have formatted this a lot better, but I just want to show you guys like how to get to this, and you can really mess around when it comes to maybe even adding some HTML elements here, bolding stuff, enlightening stuff. But for now, you can see we've automatically sent a onboarding email to our new member. It's personalized, James Smith, OTech Solutions team, social media marketing department, and everything above the board there. Let's see how we do next step. Let's go ahead and rename this. Welcome email. Boom. All right. Congratulations. We have officially knocked out step number 2. If you felt like you learned something up to this point, make sure you leave a like. It's going to cost you $1. No, I'm joking. It's completely free, so it's even better. Let's check out number 3 here. Schedule an onboarding session using Google Calendar. Schedule predefined onboarding sessions and training with relevant team leads. Let's see how we do that. Let's go ahead and connect our Google Calendar as an integration with our main email here. I'm also going to rename this automation to basically new hire workflow, as up to this point, I'm realizing that I can just do this entire workflow in one link or one automation that you'll get in the description down below. Let's go and create that integration real quick. Let's go and search calendar. Let's hope it shows up. Come on, Google Calendar. We're going to hit add new connection here. Simply choose the relevant account that you want to connect it to. It's going to be my contact again. And boom, we're in. We have officially connected our Google Workspace account to Calendar, so we can start leveraging an automation. Now that we've done that, let's go and create these events that would be relevant for a new hire when it comes to training them. So we're going to say calendar, Google Calendar. We're going to choose an event here, and this is going to be very, very simple here. So we're going to simply say create a calendar event. We're going to go ahead and choose create detailed event. Then we're going to hit continue. We're going to choose our relevant account, which is going to be contact. Once we chose our relevant calendar here, we're going to go ahead and add the information that we care about. Two things. First thing, we can do multiple events here. So if you have multiple training sessions, maybe you have 5, you would go ahead and repeat this step 5 different times with the 5 different training events and kind of proceed in that manner. Second thing, when it comes to actually scheduling it, that is why when we filled out that form, that date of hire, which was May 27th, is relevant now. We're going to use that information so we can have this anytime you submit it, it'll always work. Let's create an event. We'll say training session #1, #webcafe.com. We're going to say, let's have you meet your team members. Now we can either create a Google Meet link within this workflow or alternatively a Zoom link within this workflow. So if you want to do that, you can, or we can simply just choose the add conferencing and hit yes. That's going to make our life a little bit easier. So we'll proceed in that manner. We're going to choose our start date. Now, in order to make a start date that we can really manipulate and change depending on our context, we're going to do a little bit of code. We're going to add another block here, and it's going to be a code block. Don't worry. I'll make sure to leave the code in the description down below or a comment. If I don't, let me know in the comments that I didn't. We say run JavaScript. We're going to continue. And what's super cool about Zapier is our ability to actually generate code with AI. It's not perfect, but it could send you in the right direction. So I'm going to hit generate with AI. Say based on the date I provide, which will be formatted as year or YYY, dash date, add, increase the amount of days from it for 4 days. So this is going to be relevant to basically when you want to schedule this new or first training session. Is it 3 days after a new hire? Is it 1 day? Is it 2 days? Is it 2 weeks? Let's go and use this code. Let's see if it even works. So I'm going to go ahead and put the input data here. I'm going to do const date. And then this is going to be the form data when hired. We're going to use that here. Let's see if it works. It should increase this by 4 days. So in theory, we should see 0531. Test this step. And it worked. We see our output date is 4 days later, with the 31st being the relevant date that this will be scheduled. If you want to change when the date incurs or when this event incurs, you can go ahead and change this number right here for the relevant information. Also, if you don't know what this is a comment. It isn't actually, the code doesn't actually read this, but this just gives you reference of what's even occurring. Perfect. Let's add this. We'll say the start date is going to be that little JavaScript output. I'm going to go ahead and rename this as well. Find my date. And you can use the same similar type of logic for the additional dates that you may want to do. And from here, we're going to say the end date and time is going to be the same one. Sometimes we can use layman terms here, so let's see if we can do it. Same day, but 30 minutes later. This works sometimes. It doesn't work other times. On top of that, it could work in theory with this. I just like having it a little bit more specific, a little bit more consistent. So with that information, we have the summary, the description, the location, which will be a Google Meet, the start date, which is going to be 4 days later. And finally, we need someone else to join us. It can't just be us. So we got to add attendees here. With the attendees, it's just going to be the relevant email address that we created earlier. Perfect. And we'll go ahead, and you can go ahead and fill that information if you care about it. Hit continue and test this step. And I messed up a little. So it actually does look like we can specify by time range. So let's come back. In order to fix that error, I went ahead and added a little bit more information that seemed to be needed. So we're going to go ahead and actually add the relevant time zone, PST, 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. PST. So it understands duration. We'll add the same date, as I don't think you want a meeting going for more than 2 days. On top of that, we can actually do a little bit more than I expected. We can also add when they get reminders. So we either can use the default reminders or set specific types of reminders. So we're going to do email. We're going to remind the new hire 30 minutes before this event occurs. Once all that's done, I've already tested it. Boom. We got our training session number 1. We have the attendee that has been invited, the email we created earlier, and we're good to go. Let's proceed with the next step here. So you could have added more team leads there. You could have added more emails. That would have been the attendees. From here, we're going to go ahead and slash this. We are done with step 3. Let's go to step 4. Now with step 4, this is going to be a Google Drive integration. So let's integrate Google Drive. Coming back to our apps here, I'm going to simply put in Drive. This would be OneDrive if you're doing Microsoft in this tutorial. I've already connected it, as you see, but it's the same type of process here. Once we got that going, we can share our relevant resources with this new hire. Scrolling down here, we'll go ahead and add another block here. Let's go and rename this to session 1. Boom. And we'll zoom in for y'all. And let's share the relevant information, because step number 4 is assign training materials. Share a Google Drive folder containing all necessary training materials and documentation with the new hires company email. Easy enough. Let's do it. We're gonna add a new block here. Google Drive. Boom. With this new block here, we're gonna go ahead and do a integration that already happens with Zapier, makes our lives easy, is we'll add file sharing preferences. Boom. Hit continue. Hit continue. For the actions, we're gonna select our drive, my Google Drive. Now we have 2 options here. In the beginning of this step, alternatively, I could have set up an API webhook in order to share an entire folder, but to make our lives easier for this video, I can do a video on that later if you actually are interested, so let me know in the comments down below. But to make our lives easier, we're gonna share a specific file. Now this specific file could be a PNG, a video, or probably most likely in your context, a PDF. Right now, I don't have any of that, or at least I don't have any of that in my Google Drive folder for this video, so I'm just gonna share a Excel sheet. I'm gonna click it. You're going to go ahead and share whatever file ID is relevant for your information. Alternatively, if this is a file by file basis, e.g., the marketing department gets a different file compared to the financial department, here is a quick workaround for that. In order to set up specific share files depending on the department, we're simply going to add a pass block. With this pass block, we're going to simply create a very simple rule here. And the rule is not that. The rule is we're going to click this, and we're going to say only continue if form submission, come down here. We'll say social media exactly matches social media. Now we know and we've identified that basically we'll only go down this path and it won't save. Let me try that again. So now we know we'll only go down this specific path if the department's social media, e.g. we'll only share this specific file if it's social media. Therefore, for everything else, and I think you can add like a ton of different paths. Last time I checked, it was like 8, maybe even over 10. We can also do it here. So instead of social media, we could say marketing. So only go down this specific path if the individual that we submitted is marketing, and then share this relevant welcome email, share this relevant file, everything that you would want. Now, this could be applied to a bunch of other stuff. The cogs are probably already switching in your brain here. We're like, well, what happens if I want to share it based off of their team lead, or I want to share it based off, that's how you do it here. That's how you add that kind of conditional logic, as every single new hire is probably not going to go through the exact same flow. And this saves you money, as you don't have to set up like 6 or 7 different automations for just 6 to 7 different departments. Use the pass block. I've done videos on this. Let's jump back to our original flow here. We're not going to use it. We're just going to show you how to build out this flow. I'm hit delete. Coming back all the way to our files here, we'll simply just share the Excel sheet. I don't have a PDF on hand right now. Sharing preference, I guess whatever your preference is. For this, I'll just go ahead and say anyone within your organization can edit it, and then your company domain. So this is actually relevant in this context, as we are sharing it within a workspace. We're going to do webcafeai.com. This will be your domain. I'm going to hit continue here and test this step. Also, as a side note, we got the invitation email from our James email as well, so keep that in mind. That's pretty cool. Automatically sent. Now, this is a use-by-use basis. What you'll notice is that this underlying action actually isn't personalized to the individual's email. Therefore, alternatively, what you could do here is maybe just make the folder that you want to share, like basically a shareable link. And then once you do something like that, what you can do is just simply, I can delete this step. We don't even need it. I could add it to the welcome email here. So if I came over to this welcome email here, come all the way down to the body, I could go ahead and just share the Google Drive link here. So, right here, it's all going to be the fixed link, and kind of proceed in that manner. So keep that in mind. You don't actually need to do a Google Drive block. I just wanted to show you that in today's video. Make sure it's a very specific file for a specific individual, and you add a conditional logic with the paths. Alternatively, you just share it. Anyone with the link can edit it, view it, whatever. Grab the link, put it in that welcome email. Therefore, we have completed step number 4. This also could be an additional email if you choose to do so. Boom, boom. Coming down to notifying the team. Let the team know. So step number 5 was notifying the team. Post a welcome message in the relevant Google chat rooms to introduce the new team member to their colleagues. Let's do that. I'm going to go ahead and hit publish here just so it saves all my work, as I would not want to redo all this. I'm going to hit off here. And that's also the awesome thing about automation, is once you do it once, it's good to go. This is going to work 4 weeks from now. Coming back over to apps, we're going to do Google Chat. I think it's what it's called. It is what it's called. Connect. Make sure you are connecting with your workspace account. I'm going to continue here. And that's it. We're good to go. We've connected to Google Chat. We can see everything it can do with that little button there. Jump down here. No, I don't want to save that one password. And we can go ahead and proceed. Coming back over here, I'm going to hit edit. All right, here we go. Here we go, y'all. Let's add the block. Google Chat. Google Chat has been added here. We can choose an event of create message. For account, we got the one already connected here. Action. Very important, y'all. For this to work, we actually have to make sure the Zapier bot has access to the chat as well. In order to do so, we're going to click this little button right here. This is going to be giving you access to all the different apps here. We're going to type in Zapier, click it, add, and there we go. Now that we have the Zapier app, we're actually able to, we're going to say allows apps. We have the ability to actually do these automations within our Google Meets. On top of that, we got a nice little streaming emoji here, hype. So let's go ahead and set this up here. So coming back over to our chat here, click Google Chat, create message, action, Hangout rooms, refresh results. Once we refresh results, we've added the chat bot. We're going to click it, and here we go. So let's just say welcome, and then we'll put in the person's name. Welcome, James Smith. We can add a image URL, a message subtitle. We are happy to see you. Message text will say, here is where we do the talking. We can add anything else relevant here that we would want to add here. Action button URL. We'll hit continue here and test this step. And boom. When a new member is added, it will automatically send a chat here. We figured out step 5. Now, one thing that we can't do automatically, sadly, is the ability to actually add the member within the chat itself. In order to do so, we're going to simply just add it like this. I looked through the documentation, and as of now, Zapier does not currently allow us to access Google Chat with API webhooks. Therefore, I can't show you how to do this automatically, as we're kind of closed in on Zapier's ecosystem. But when it does become available, let me know in the comments, as I'll do a video on that. Now we are on the last step here, y'all. Have you made it this far? Are you still watching me? Did you skip to this part? Who knows? But the last step here is a feedback form. After 1 week, send a Google form to a new hire to gather feedback on the onboarding process. Let's create that form. We're going to simply come over to Google Forms here. I'm not even going to worry about filling in the relevant information here. We're just going to create a form that we can just send automatically. So event feedback, we'll just say hiring process feedback. Obviously, fill out the form how you want to fill it out, all the relevant inquiries and data you want to collect. Once we've done that, we can go ahead and come back. We have the relevant form here. We're going to come over here, and this is where the delay block comes back, y'all. So it said after a week. Let's send it after a week. We're going to go add the delay block here. We're going to say delay 4. Come to actions here. 1, and then we'll go ahead and do a unit of weeks. Therefore, after an entire week, it will do the next automation or the next part of this automation. And we're going to go. We're on schedule, y'all. Let's go ahead and retest the step. Ran successfully. Let's add our final part of this block here, Google Forms. I actually need to integrate this myself as well because I have it integrated to a separate account. We're going to do Google Forms. We're going to hit add connection. Choose your relevant email again. Allow. And there we go. We got a contact email connected. Let's go back to the Zap. Coming to the Zap here, we're going to go ahead and add Google Form. Once we've added Google Form, it's going to open up this entire pop-up here. We're going to do a new event. Actually, I realize, y'all, we don't even need to do a Google Form here. We can just do a follow-up email, as this will make our life a lot easier. So I'm actually going to delete this step. Coming over to our Google Form here, I'm simply going to hit send, and I'm going to grab the relevant information or the relevant link that I care about. I'm going to hit copy. And to make our lives easier, I'm going to simply duplicate our welcome email so we can get all the relevant information that we already filled out in the same email here. I'm going to go ahead and drag this down here. With this copied over, I'm going to go ahead and rename it to form request. Click it. Send email, same account, perfect. Same email. We know the right email to send it to. Coming down here, all we need to do here is just, add the relevant information. For now, though, you can create your own email here. So we're going to just do this real quick. Say, let us know how we did for the onboarding process. And then we'll do semicolon, put in the relevant link here. Now, if you have very specific forms, depending on who you're hiring, go back to that past block. That will help you out there. From here, we can go ahead and just say form request and James Smith, how did we do? There we go. And if I continue here, we can add attachments, everything relevant that we saw earlier. Test this step. And after a week of working at OTech Solutions, they'll receive a form request asking them to click the form. And from here, be able to fill out the form, submit it, and get going. Okay, y'all, that was a lot of information, but let me go ahead and end this tutorial with showcasing this all live. Let's publish. Version name, done. Therefore, you're going to see it all live, but on top of that, get an idea of how much this would actually cost your business when it comes to task usage, as that is how Zapier quantifies and basically bills you every month. Real quickly, though, let's go ahead and slash this out as we're done. Boom, boom. Zoom out, zoom out. We did all that in this video. I don't know how long this is going to be. I think this is going to be like over an hour long, which some of y'all might like. It's enabled. Let's get going here. Also, I realized that we didn't even use AI in this flow. We possibly could have if I wanted to maybe personalize the email more and everything above the board there. If you're really wanting to know how to use AI in automation, check out the playlist at the end here. as the first 2 videos give you a general overview, and then every video past that gives you very specific examples how to leverage it. Enough of me talking. Let's see this work. All right, I got a great conversation. I had a great conversation. Just got off the phone. I'm really excited about this possible new hire. They seem like they know everything when it comes to accounting, and I need that right now. So let's add them. We're going to put their first name and last name, Ashley Willow. The position is accounting, so they did really great here. We can go ahead and add relevant information. Did a great job for X company. Now, the one thing I didn't show that you could have possibly used to personalize the emails more was the ability to take those notes and summarize them and use AI to contextualize it for emails, which honestly I probably should show, and I'll do that on another video as this one's already getting pretty long here. So make sure to stay tuned here as I'll show you how to contextualize a lot of data for the context of personalizing more of the workflow that we saw today. When hired, we'll go ahead and change it here. We'll go to the 29th, and all I need to do, I know this is crazy, y'all. All I need to do is hit submit. Boom. First thing added to the new record. To watch this live, we're going to simply come to Zap History. We're going to click it. You can see success, success. We're going to wait 1 minute. And I forgot to change this. I know I probably should have, but in theory, I could have changed this to like 1 minute as well so you can see the form request. So unless you want to wait 7 days, I'm not going to show that part right here. But we're watching this live, y'all. So right now it's going to wait a minute before it sends out the welcome email in the individual's email box we just created. Boom. I just got a message here. Where did I get the message from? Who got mentioned? Oh, we got a new person. Ashley Willow got welcomed. Okay, there we go. There we go. We got added to our workspace account as well. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Logging in. I understand. Create a new password. And boom. We got invited to our training session. And as you see, 4 days from now, now it's June 2nd. Pretty solid. We got our welcome aboard email. Welcome aboard, Ashley Willow, and everything relevant to that information. Access the relevant training material here. Everything is done automatic, y'all. And if we scroll down here, we can actually look at the automation itself. Success, 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 success. Can I get another one? Not yet because I got to wait 7 days, but there you go. That has successfully automated this entire onboarding process. Finally, let's quantify the amount of task this is going to cost you. Because of the fact that we have one more task that hasn't incurred yet, which is the form request, the total tasks that are going to be associated with this workflow is not 5, but 6. 6 tasks in total. Therefore, if this thing ran 1,000 times, it's going to cost you 6,000 tasks, but I don't think you're going to be hiring 1,000 people. That completes today's video. I'm going to make sure I can share that link in the description down below. So make sure to leave a like. It's completely free. Helps me out here. Check out the community I just created. That'll be the first link as well. This is a community based off what I'm doing on this channel now. I plan on live streaming every single Sunday. These live streams could be user suggestions for automations to create, going over different things that are occurring with the artificial intelligence world. Everything that I do on this channel, make sure to subscribe. It's completely free. As I've said before, it's free. Check me out on Twitter. Check me out on TikTok. Check me out on Instagram. Let me know what you think of this video. I know some of y'all are going to be very happy. Some of y'all have been waiting for a video like this. If you want to see more types of tutorials, just check out this channel, y'all. I've been at it for a year and a half now. We got all these videos. And the one that's probably most specific to what you care about is going to be that one right there, which goes over everything when it comes to Zapier and AI and automation. So without further ado, I'll see you in the next video. This place right here goes over everything you need to know when it comes to AI and automation and save your time in your business, save your cost. Let's just have software do everything for us now. That's a random video. Could be good, could be bad. That's my face. I'll see you in the next video.